Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. The date is June 3rd, 2024. The time is now 7 o'clock p.m. I call to order a meeting of the Havre Grace Mayor and City Council. And let's see, take roll call here. We're going to Council President Ringsacker.
Here.
Councilmember Robertson.
Here.
Councilmember Jones.
Here.
Councilmember Boyer.
Here.
Councilmember Shenagus.
Here.
Councilmember Boger.
Here.
All council members are present. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance and the opening prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If I could kindly ask everyone to remain standing, as it's always a pleasure to call forward Reverend Mary Whitehead of Spearhead Global Outreach. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Happy June.
It's always a pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Father God, we give you all the glory and all the praise. Lord God, in the midst of all the things going on in the world today and here in Havre Grace, we ask that you give your peace, your direction, and your leading to our mayor and council. May your presence and your holy direction for this city council meeting be known to our mayor and city councilmen to discover the best direction for this wonderful city. We pray a blessing upon those working, living, and visiting this city. We thank you, Lord, for all the blessings that are bestowed upon Havre Grace. Please keep it safe and bring it prosperity to all. We also pray a blessing upon the meeting and upon our leaders. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord shine his face upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord show his favor and give you his peace. I pray all this in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Reverend Whitehead, thank you so much for your words.
Thank you.
Thank you for
God
joining
bless.
us. Okay, we're going to go to item 5, which is the approval of the minutes, plural. We have 4 different meeting minutes we need to approve here. So, first item is item A, the City Council meeting minutes of May 20th, 2024. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Jones, seconded by the Council President. Questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. City Council meeting minutes of May 20th, 2024 are approved 6-0 in the affirmative. Item B, the City Council closed session meeting minutes of May 20th, 2024. Council, do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion by the Council President, seconded by Councilmember Boker. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to approve the City Council closed session meeting minutes is approved 6-0 in the affirmative. The minutes from May 20th. Item C, City Council Public Works Session minutes for the fiscal year 2025 preliminary budget on May 21st, 2024. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I have a motion by the Council President. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Boker. Questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. City Council Public Works Session minutes for the fiscal year budget that was held on May 21st, 2024, as approved 6-0 in the affirmative. Item D, the City Council Public Works Session minutes of ordinances number 1154 and 1155 that was held on May 29th, 2024. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I have a motion by the Council President. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Boker. Questions or comments? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. City Council Public Works Session minutes of ordinances 1154 and 1155 are from the May 29, 2024 meeting, approved 6-0 in the affirmative. Thank you, council. And we're going to go to item 6, comments from citizens. This is the part of tonight's agenda. If you are here to speak on an agenda item, now is the time to be recognized and do so. If you're also here to speak on another or any matter of city business that's not on the agenda, you can speak at this time as well. Normally, if I have a pre-filled out form, I'll call on those citizens first, but I don't. So what I'll do is I'll call on the audience at large. If you raise your hand, be recognized if you have anything to say on the agenda or any other city business. Okay. Any comments from the council? Okay. We will go on to item number 7, appointments, and we have several appointments this evening. And to go to the Arts Commission, and I'll hand that off to Councilmember Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to appoint Kevin Harewood and Philip J. Samuel to the Arts Commission.
Council, I have a motion by Councilmember Jones to approve Kevin Harewood and Philip J. Samuel to the Arts Commission. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second on those by Councilmember Poker. Questions or comments on these appointments?
I would just like to say that these are two great advocates in the community working. Mr. Samuel has a background in communications, telecommunications, and also a love of arts and music, and Mr. Harewood has a background in film and producing. So I think that they will be great assets to the commission.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Jones. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. The appointment of Mr. Kevin Harewood and Mr. Philip J. Samuel to the Arts Commission is approved 6-0 in the affirmative. Thank you very much, council. We go to item B, and we have a Historic Preservation Commission appointment. Councilmember Jones.
I move that we appoint Jesse Cozier to the Historic Preservation Commission.
Council, I have a motion by Councilmember Jones, seconded by Councilmember Robertson for the appointment of Mr. Jesse Cozier to the Historic Preservation Commission. Questions or comments? Councilmember Jones?
Yes, so happy to have him also on this commission. He will be our second one in the last few months, and I love the way that we're able to have just more folks from the community to support us. He has been in this community for about 8 years. He and his wife bought a home here, a historic home. So I think that he will have lots of great things to contribute. His wife will probably give him some ideas when she's at home as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Jones. Any other questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. The appointment of Mr. Jesse Cozier to Historic Preservation Commission carries 6-0 in the affirmative. So we're going to go to item 8, which is oath of office. And I would like to swear in Mr. Harewood and Mr. Samuel to the Arts Commission. And then after I do that, I'll bring in Mr. Cozier up for your appointment to Historic Preservation Commission. Councilmember Jones, would you like to join me? Please have our two newest candidates up here, please. Very much for being willing to serve. Very much appreciate it. Absolutely. If I could just have you two gentlemen stand over here, I guess maybe. Perfect. Microphone will just pick it up. First of all, thank you so much. Thank you for being willing to serve on a great commission. The Arts Commission has been around since, I think, 1988, and they've done wonderful things for the city throughout the years. A long time ago, we weren't the arts and entertainment district like we are today. They were the ones that really genesis for it. So good commission. They do concerts and a lot of art around the city and sponsor a lot of things. So if you like art and you like being involved in the community, then we got you on the right commission. So thank you. So absolutely. So what we're going to do is we're going to just take an oath of office. So I'm going to ask both of you gentlemen to raise your right hand. I'm going to say the word "I," and when I say the word "I," please both repeat "I," but then say your name and then say your name, okay? And then after that, just straight up repeat after me. So, I
Kevin here. Philip Samuel.
do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will fulfill
that I will fulfill
the requirement
the requirement
of the office I'm about to assume,
for the office I'm about to assume,
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States,
of the United States,
that I'll be faithful
that I will be faithful,
and bear true allegiance
bear true allegiance
to the state of Maryland,
to the state of Maryland,
and support the Constitution
and support the Constitution
and laws thereof.
and laws thereof,
And I will faithfully
and I will faithfully
and impartially,
and impartially,
without fear of favor
without fear of favor
or prejudice,
or prejudice,
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
as a member of
as a member of
the Arts Commission,
the Arts Commission
for the City of Havre de Grace,
for the city of Havre de Grace,
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Thank you, gentlemen. That's it. Kevin, if you could sign this one here. If you could sign right there. Something for you real quick. Oath you just took. Were you key? Don't go anywhere yet. Phil, this is. This is for you and all awesome people that serve the city, the flag of the city. Thank you. Fly that as much as you want. If it ever fades or tears, you just come back.
We do a picture?
That's it. Let's get a picture. You can stand in. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Very nice. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Forward to seeing you guys. Awesome. Thank you. You're volunteering. Jesse? Hey, thank you so much. Congratulations. You've been giving up your time for graduation.
Happy to do it.
Absolutely. How long have you been at it?
8 years.
Okay, well, you know, stranger. When did you meet this lady?
I say just recently.
Okay, all right, well, she's Mrs. Historic Preservation Commission. All right, so anyway, just like the two other gentlemen that took the oath a minute ago, I'm going to ask you please raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I'm going to say the word "I." When I say the word "I," repeat the word "I," but also say your name. I
Jesse Kozier,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will fulfill
that I will fulfill
the requirements
the requirements
of the office I'm about to assume,
of the office I'm about to assume,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I'll support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will be faithful
that I'll be faithful,
and bear true allegiance
bear true allegiance
to the state of Maryland,
to the state of Maryland,
and support the laws
and support the laws
and Constitution thereof.
and the Constitution thereof.
I will faithfully and impartially,
And I will faithfully and impartially,
without fear of favor or prejudice,
without fear of favor or prejudice,
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
as a member of
as a member of
the Historic Preservation Commission
the Historic Preservation Commission
for the City of Havre de Grace,
for the city of Havre de Grace,
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Well done, sir. Thank you, Jesse.
Good, I remember.
Go over here real quick and have a couple things. Sign this right here. This stays with the city.
It's a dinner of champions.
This is the oath you just took. people get a flag. Like I said, if you want a flag outside your house, if it fades or weathers, come back to City Hall.
Alrighty.
Okay, as we go through our agenda this evening, we go to item 9, recognitions. We have no recognitions this evening. Number 10, proclamations. There are no proclamations from the city this evening. Number 11, presentations. We have no presentations this evening. And we get the resolutions, and we have a few. So we're going to start off with a charter resolution, and I'll hand that off to the council president.
Mr. Mayor, Council, I move to introduce charter resolution concerning amending Section 75, city property sale, transfer, or conveyance for first reading.
Council, I have a motion by the council president to introduce a resolution. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Booker. This is a motion to introduce a resolution, charter resolution concerning amending Section 75, city property sale. Questions or comments on the introduction? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to introduce a resolution carries 6-0 in the affirmative. Council, this will be number Charter Resolution 302. 302, a resolution by the Mayor and City Council of Havre, Grace, Maryland, pursuant to the local government article of the annotated code of Maryland, sections 33 and 34 of the city charter to amend Section 75, city property, sale, transfer, or conveyance. Council, to have a motion to adopt Charter Resolution 302.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by the council president, second by Councilmember Boker. Questions or comments? Council president.
The purpose of this resolution is to amend the way we handle the sale and transfer of surplus property. And could I have the legislative aide, Adam Rachinsky, give a detailed explanation on it?
Sure.
So this charter amendment simply removes section J from subsection J from section 75, which currently as written requires when you sell property, that money has to be spent towards condemning other property. So it gives the city a little bit more broader discretion on how money could be spent. It could be spent on things like stormwater management projects, if you will.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you, Council President. Any other questions or comments? Council, we will do a roll call vote on Charter Resolution 302. I'm sorry. Who? Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead. So I saw your hand go that way. Yeah. Yes, sir. Go ahead, Councilman Roberts.
Thanks. Just for my own edification, and I'm sure that we can have this discussion offline, but April, can you explain, or maybe Adam, is this process all bid? Is it possible for us to deal with an agent and sell at market rate?
The bidding process is in Section 75, and there is a way for a majority of the council to vote and to use a negotiated contract where you could use outside of the bidding process if it was a market value. So that's already in the charter provision. What this does is says if there's money raised from that process, either way, the city is not restricted to just using it to condemn other properties. So I think when this provision was originally adopted, there was a concern in the community. There were a lot of dilapidated properties, and there was an effort to try and use city funds to help clean up some of those properties. That's not our concern today. Our concern is raising funds to do stormwater management and MS4 compliance. And so this is a way that funds to sell surplus city properties, that money can be used in a broader manner. So it doesn't affect the first part of your question.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, council, we're going to do a roll call vote on Charter Resolution 302. Councilmember Boger,
Yes.
Council President Ringsager,
Yes.
Councilmember Robertson,
Yes.
Councilmember Jones,
Yes.
Councilmember Boyer,
Yes.
Councilmember Shenegis.
Yes.
By roll call vote of 6-0 in the affirmative, City Council Charter Resolution concerning amending Section 75 City Property Sale, Transfer, or Conveyance is approved. And we'll have to have a public hearing. And Council President, public hearing on July 1st, which would satisfy our advertising requirement for it. So public hearing on Charter Resolution 302 will be July 1st. Thank you very much. And we'll go to item B, which is a calendar resolution, and that's Councilmember Shenegis.
Thank you, Mayor. Council, I move to introduce calendar resolution concerning approving a license agreement for a driveway and curb cut at 513 Girard Street.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Shenegis. Do we have a second for this? Second by the Council President. It's a motion. This is a motion to introduce a calendar resolution concerning approving a license agreement for a driveway and curb cut at 513 Girard Street. Questions or comments on the introduction of this resolution? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to introduce resolution carries 6-0 in the affirmative. Council, this will be calendar resolution 2024-08, 2024-08. A resolution by the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace, Maryland, pursuant to Section 33 and 34 of the City Charter and the Local Government Article of the Annotated Code of Maryland for approval of a license agreement for the installation of a driveway and curb cut at 513 Girard Street right-of-way, and to authorize the mayor to execute such a license. Council, do I have a motion to approve, to adopt calendar resolution 2024-08?
So moved.
Second?
Okay. You made a motion, right? I did. In case you made a motion. So I'm going to go Councilmember Jones and Councilmember Boyer. All right. So we have a motion by Councilmember Jones, second by Councilmember Boyer. Questions or comments? Councilmember Shenegis?
Yes, this license agreement is to allow for a section of the city right-of-way to be used to construct a 21-foot long by 22 feet wide driveway for 2 cars at 513 Girard Street.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Shenegis. Any other questions or comments? Council will do a roll call vote on resolution 2024-08. Councilmember Shenegis?
Yes.
Councilmember Boger?
Yes.
Council President?
Yes.
Councilmember Robertson?
Yes.
Councilmember Jones?
Yes.
Councilmember Boyer?
Yes.
By roll call vote of 6-0 in the affirmative, calendar resolution 2024-08 is approved by council. Item C, another calendar resolution, and Councilmember Shenegis.
Thank you again, Mayor and Council. I move to introduce calendar resolution concerning approving a license agreement for a driveway and curb cut at 843 Ontario Street.
Council, I have a motion by Councilmember Shenegis. This is a motion to introduce a resolution. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by the Council President. Motion by Councilmember Shenegis, second by Council President on a motion to introduce a calendar resolution. Any questions or comments on the motion to introduce the resolution? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to introduce counter resolution passes 6-0 in the affirmative. This will be counter resolution number 2024-09, 2024-09. A resolution by the Mayor and City Council of Havre and Grace, Maryland, pursuant to sections 33 and 34 of the City Charter and the Local Government Article of the Annotated Code of Maryland for approval of a license agreement for the installation of a driveway and curb cut at 843 Ontario Street right-of-way, and to authorize the mayor to execute such license. Council, can I get a motion to adopt this resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Senegas and seconded by Councilmember Boyer. Questions or comments? Councilmember Senegas?
Yes, this agreement, license agreement, is in, again, the city right-of-way along Ontario Street to construct an 18-foot by 29.47 feet driveway for 2 cars. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other questions or comments? Council, we're going to do a roll call vote on calendar resolution 2024-09. Councilmember Boyer.
Yes.
Councilmember Senegas.
Yes.
Councilmember Boger.
Yes.
Council President.
Yes.
Councilmember Robertson.
Yes.
Councilmember Jones.
Yes.
By roll call vote of 6-0 in the affirmative, City Council calendar resolution concerning approving a license agreement for a driveway and curb cut at 843 Ontario Street is approved. 6-0 in the affirmative. Thank you. Okay, we're going to go to ordinances, item 13, and this evening we have a handful of ordinances. First one's going to be a second reader on the tax rate ordinance, handing that off to the Chair of the Finance Committee, Councilmember Robertson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, fellow council members, I move to introduce on second reading ordinance number 1152 concerning establishing the tax rates for FY 2025.
Second.
Council, I have a motion by Councilmember Robertson, second by the Council President. This is a motion to introduce ordinance 1152 on second reading. Questions or comments on the introduction of this ordinance? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to introduce ordinance 1152. Motion to introduce ordinance 1152 carries on second reading. An ordinance by the Mayor and City Council of Havre and Grace, Maryland, pursuant to the authority provided by the Annotated Code of Maryland, Tax Property Article Title 6, and the Local Government Article of the Annotated Code of Maryland, fixing the tax rate for the fiscal year for July 1st, 2024 to June 30th, 2025 on each $100 of assessable real property, personal property, and providing an additional special tax levied within a critical area special taxing district, and setting the service charge for the semi-annual property tax payment option. Council, do I have a motion to adopt ordinance 1152 on second reading?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Robertson, seconded by Councilmember Jones. Questions or comments? Councilmember Robertson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It is with my pleasure that for the 7th year in a row, my tenure on council so far, that we have not had to raise property taxes. This is really due to a great real estate market and a lot of new construction in Havre de Grace, expanding the tax base. Of course, that doesn't mean that you won't pay more in taxes, just because property values have been going up, but at least we don't need to increase the rates. So I think that's a testament to our community being healthy and vibrant and moving in the right direction. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Robertson. Any other questions or comments? Council, we will do a roll call vote on the tax rate ordinance 1152. Councilmember Jones.
Yes.
Councilmember Boyer.
Yes.
Councilmember Senegas.
Yes.
Councilmember Boger.
Yes.
Council President.
Yes.
Councilmember Robertson.
Yes.
By roll call vote of 6-0 in the affirmative, City Council Ordinance 1152 concerning establishing the tax rate for fiscal year 2025 is adopted on second reading. Item B, Ordinance 1153, establishing water and sewer rates. Councilmember Boger.
Mayor Martin, council, I move to introduce ordinance number 1153 concerning the establishment of water and sewer rates for FY 2025 under the second reading.
Second.
Council, I have a motion by Councilmember Booker, second by Councilmember Robertson. This is a motion to introduce ordinance 1153 on second reading. Questions or comments on the introduction? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion to introduce ordinance 1153 on second reading carries 6-0 in the affirmative. Ordinance 1153 is an ordinance by the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace, Maryland, adopted pursuant to the authority of Article 11E of the Maryland Constitution, the local government article of the annotated Code of Maryland, Sections 33 and 34 of the Havre de Grace City Charter, City Code, Chapter 196, and Exhibit A, thereto establishing the city water and sewer rates and service participation fees for the users of the city water and sewer system. Council, to have a motion to adopt ordinance 1153 on second reading.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by the Council President, seconded by Councilmember Boker. Questions or comments? Council will do a roll call vote on 1153. Councilmember Robertson.
Yes.
Councilmember Jones.
Yes.
Councilmember Boyer.
Yes.
Councilmember Schnagus.
Yes.
Councilmember Boger.
Yes.
And Council President.
Yes.
By roll call vote of 6-0 in the affirmative, City Council Ordinance 1153 establishing water and sewer rates for fiscal year 2025 is adopted on second reading. We're going to go to item C and Ordinance 1154, second reading concerning traffic pattern on Congress. And we're going to hand it off to the chair of the Public Safety Committee, Councilmember Boyer.
Mayor, I move to introduce ordinance number 1154 concerning changing the traffic pattern on Congress Avenue for second reading.
Second.
Council, I have a motion by Councilmember Boyer, second by Councilmember Robertson. It's an ordinance concerning changing the traffic pattern on Congress Avenue. This is the introduction of this ordinance. Questions or comments on the introduction? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to introduce ordinance 1154 carries 6-0 in the affirmative. Ordinance 1154 is an ordinance by the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace, Maryland, adopted pursuant to the authority of the Article 11E of the Maryland Constitution, the local government article of the annotated Code of Maryland, and sections 33 and 34 of the Havre de Grace City Charter to change the traffic pattern on Congress Avenue. Council, do I have a motion to adopt 1154 on second reading?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Jones, seconded by Councilmember Boger. Questions or comments before the roll call? Councilmember Boyer.
Just for the edification of everybody at home, the concept is to create diagonal parking from Union all the way down to St. John Street. It'll create a total of 74 spaces, and I believe that is a total increase of parking available in the downtown area by 24 spaces. Again, this is to address the concerns from the community about having adequate parking in the downtown area. It will not require any major construction in order to create this. It will require us to do a lot of painting. And it'll give us a good idea if this kind of concept works and if we should move forward with it in other locations. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Councilmember Boyer. Any other questions or comments, Council President?
At the work session, we did discuss the possibility of changing the direction from east to west, west to east. Does council have any feelings about that?
I would agree with changing the direction.
I believe that we also settled in on a pilot for maybe like a particular set of time to see if there was any benefits of doing so. But there was discussion on that during the work session, maybe, in a pilot program.
Could we,
See if it was beneficial. It's definitely gonna support the strategic parking plan for the downtown renovation, so I'm all about that. I think it's gonna be a go. I just see how things pan out for the first year.
I apologize, Mr. Mayor. I'm having trouble with my, my agenda packet, bringing it up. It's freezing on me for some reason. Do you have the lines for, the east-west, what we would need to be amended? Do you have your packet?
No amendment. I'm not making a motion for amendment for this one. I will for the next one, but not this one.
Councilman Robertson, do you have it, have the number?
I'm looking at it now.
I apologize.
I just see where it describes making it a one-way. I don't see the directional language.
If you had the line.
4 and 45, it simply says converting the parking patterns along certain streets downtown from, that's what the whereas is.
Yeah,
Whereas, yeah.
but by converting Congress Avenue between Union and Market to a one-way traffic pattern, it doesn't specify the direction.
May I, Mr. Mayor? If I read-
Yeah, go ahead,
oh,
Adam.
Go to line 56, please.
What's that?
56.
Okay.
Traveling eastbound there, okay, gotcha. So, I make a motion to amend line 56 where it says eastbound to read westbound.
Second.
Does that satisfy that? Yeah.
So you're changing the direction from going from Union.
Microphone.
You're changing the direction from Union to St. John's, to St. John's to Union?
Yes, and that would be in line with where the traffic light is. I mean, I reiterate what I said at the work session. I'm not sure that a singular direction in either circumstance is the best for the flow of traffic in general. I understand having the Union to St. John portion, being in that eastbound direction, simply because that feeds into Washington right there. But St. John's to Union would do the same thing, but without having to affect the street closures for First Fridays, every Saturday for the farmer's market. And then my other concern is the amount of traffic that would be coming down Washington and St. John at that point to exit the town, like toward 155. So I think diverting that gives us more outlets for traffic coming out of the downtown from Hutchins Park and all that good stuff. The second thing that I'm concerned with, and this is something that I think that we really need to look at holistically, and I've shared this before as well, is the side streets with the amount of pedestrian traffic that we're likely to see. Bourbon, Girard, Fountain, they're likely going to have a lot more parking on them. So having the two-way traffic, I think, is going to be a lot more cumbersome because there's really not enough room for vehicles to move. You're going to have increased traffic now by making Congress a one-way regardless. So I really think that we probably need to look at one-way streets as we move forward, But time will tell. That's not this amendment, though.
Eastbound to westbound.
Yeah,
Okay.
changing eastbound to westbound. So now we'll be going westbound to eastbound, right? No? I'm confused.
Eastbound to down.
So basically, you're going uphill versus
From
down-
St.
versus-
John to Union,
Yeah,
up the hill.
uphill.
Cold Coors Light.
And will this change, and I know we're still under the amendment, will this change the amount of parking spots?
It's anticipated we'll pick up 24 additional parking spots.
With the motion that we're talking about now?
No,
Yeah,
no, that
so
was
what?
at the request of the police department.
I'm sorry?
That was a suggestion given to us by the police department.
Okay. Thank you, Adam, appreciate it.
Okay, Councilmember Robertson made a motion on line 56 to change eastbound direction to westbound, correct? Do I have a second?
I seconded.
What?
I seconded.
You second, okay, so I got Councilmember Robertson.
Mr. Mayor, would you entertain me for just one more second?
Sure, go ahead.
Chief, EJ, I mean, what is your take on the direction there?
I did have conversation with some people at the fire department, and they said it's the best route for them to leave from the firehouse as well. And I think it makes sense from a traffic flow standpoint. And we will find out more from some of the Amtrak studies with diversion of traffic during the shutdown. So we'll have that information at our hand as well.
You're saying the westbound, changing it to westbound would be
I'm
where
just
advantageous?
going to say from St. John's leaving up towards
Yeah,
Union.
going up the hill.
Right.
Okay, all right, I understand.
Yep.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Chief.
Yeah, and we were pretty much the same way as far as like special events, that type of thing also. From a safety standpoint, I mean, I know we have traffic coming down now, but we think that actually from a safety standpoint, it'd be better to have them go up versus going down.
Roger that, Chief. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Robertson. Motion by Councilmember Robertson, second by Council President. Any other discussion on westbound? Councilmember Boyer.
I just have one other question in regards to all that. What do you think, Chief, about at the intersection of Washington and Congress, I'm getting this right, Washington and Congress, having that as a four-way, well, actually, stops on all of the, I don't even know how to describe it right, because it's not technically a four-way stop at that point. It'll be a three-way stop at that point, by having a stop sign or an all.
Yes, well, actually, no, because it would still, well, yes, it would be a three-way stop, not a four-way
They're
stop.
changing it from, so, I mean, the best way of saying it, adding a stop sign on Washington crossing over Congress would it be a good idea?
Yeah, I don't see any problem with it. We don't have any major accidents. We have had accidents there before because of the way the parking was, and the line of sight in those cases is what the problem was. This hopefully might alleviate some of that with the line of sight.
Right, it's just a very awkward intersection as well, so.
It is, because most people anticipate that that it is probably going to be a four-way stop, or they just can't see because of certain vehicles that are parked there.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Another question?
Just along those lines, would we, not to this amendment, but would that be something that we would have to amend into this, or is that something that could
Stop
just
signs?
occur? A stop sign there?
No, that would be not an ordinance. That would be a police function,
Okay.
DPW function.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments on Councilmember Robertson's amendment? All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say nay. Eastbound is now westbound. We're back to ordinance 1154 under the question for adoption. Any other further comments? Okay, council, we're going to do a roll call vote on 1154, ordinance 1154. Council President,
Yes.
Councilmember Robertson,
Yes.
Councilmember Jones,
Yes.
Councilmember Boyer,
Yes.
Councilmember Schnagus,
Yes.
Councilmember Boger.
Up the hill, yes.
Better
A
than
roll call
down.
vote of 6-0 in the affirmative. City Council Ordinance 1154 concerning changing the traffic pattern on Congress Avenue is approved. Second reading. Item D, Ordinance 1155 concerning changing the traffic pattern on Lewis Street. Councilmember Boyer.
Mayor, I move to introduce an ordinance number 1155 concerning changing the traffic pattern on Lewis Street for second reading.
Second.
Council have a motion by Councilmember Boyer and seconded by the Council President to introduce Ordinance 1155 on second reading. Any questions or comments on the introduction? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to introduce an ordinance 1155 on second reading carries 6-0 in the affirmative. Ordinance 1155 concerning changing the traffic pattern on Lewis Street is an ordinance by the Mayor and City Council of Havre and Grace, Maryland. Adopted pursuant to the authority of Article 11E of the Maryland Constitution, the the local government article of the annotated code of Maryland and sections 33 and 34 of the Havre de Grace City Charter to change the traffic pattern on Lewis Street. Council, I have a motion. Do I have a motion to adopt 1155 on second reading?
So moved.
Second.
Council, I have a motion by Councilmember Boyer and seconded by the council president. Questions or comments?
Mayor Martin, I'd like to make a motion to amend
Yes, sir.
line number 57. I'd like to change that to keep traffic pattern from Stokes to Lewis one-way and revert Union Avenue to Washington to a two-way. Whereas keep the citizen side one-way and revert the other side back to two-way.
My apologies, Councilmember Boger. What line was that?
Line number 57.
So instead of reading Stoke Street to Washington, it would read Union to Washington.
Union to Washington revert.
Okay.
You have to change.
I'll read it again.
Okay, I was just going to say, read it in one.
Yeah, I'll read it
Sentence for
again.
me,
So
or just
motion
for the
to
record.
amend. So to keep the traffic pattern from Stokes to Lewis one-way and revert Union Avenue to Washington to two-way traffic pattern.
Okay, I have that. Council, do you have that? Council President?
Point of order, you'll also have to change line 68.
Yes, yeah. Line 68 would have to modify as well.
I mean, I would say it, you know, in 58 and 68, just remove, strike Stoke Street and insert Union Avenue. I think that accomplishes the same goal.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, basically, when you remove that out of the equation, out of line number 68 and 57, then that allows from Stokes to Union to remain one way, and then to revert the other side back to two-way.
Okay, so we're striking Stokes?
Right, from line number 57, or correction, it was 68, yeah. So line number 68 to strike Stokes.
Strike Stokes. Okay,
And then, so that's basically from Washington Street, yeah, it says it from Washington Street, or actually Union, as it were, to Washington, two-way street traffic.
gotcha.
Yeah, there's like two things going on here, so I apologize for the
It's
confusion.
not a problem. I think council understands what you're,
Yeah, I mean, in short, I don't want to change the traffic over on Lewis. I mean, we've had several citizens come up here and speak. I think we have members in the audience who were coming here to defend. I mean, when you have that many people and that many businesses and that many cases and situations, it just doesn't make sense. It's been that way for years and years. I just don't see a reason to change it today, you know, possibly down the road maybe, but not today.
thank you, Councilmember Booker. Any other, well, first of all, I have a motion by Councilmember Booker. Do I have a second on the amendment? Seconded by Councilmember Jones. Any questions from the council on that amendment? Hold on one second. Ms. Ishak, do you have that amendment in clarity? Was Councilmember Booker clear enough for you? I mean, we all know what
Yeah, I mean, I think what you're saying, just to clarify, is the only thing that's going to be two-way is the stretch of Lewis Street between Union Avenue and Washington Street. Is that correct?
Correct, ma'am.
And the rest of it will stay the same. So the only thing you're changing in the amendment is changing Stokes to Union.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's up by the hospital,
yes, correct.
just for folks that don't,
Got it.
can't picture the streets right off.
Thank you.
Does anybody want to say something over here? Okay. Any other questions on the amendment from Councilmember Booker? All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say nay.
Nay.
Okay, I'll do a roll call vote. Second. and clarify the nays and the yeas. Councilmember Boyer,
No.
Councilmember Schnagus,
No.
Councilmember Booker,
Yes.
Council President,
No.
Councilmember Robertson,
Yes.
Councilmember Jones.
Yes.
We have, we have 3 yeas and 3 nays, so the amendment fails, so the language right now still stays the same as written. Correct? Yeah. So we're back to the, question. On 1155. I have a motion by Councilmember Boyer, second by Council President. Any other further questions or comments? Okay, we'll do a roll call vote on 1155. Councilmember Booker,
No.
Council President,
Yes.
Councilmember Robertson,
No.
Councilmember Jones,
No.
Councilmember Boyer,
Yes.
Councilmember Schnagus.
Yes.
We have 3 yeas and 3 nays. So ordinance 1155 fails to be adopted on second reading. Okay. We'll go to item E, ordinance concerning establishing the city budget. Councilmember Robertson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, fellow council members, I move to introduce on first reading an ordinance concerning establishing the city budget for FY 2025.
Council, I have a motion by Councilmember Robertson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Council President. This is a motion introduced on first reading, an ordinance to establish the city budget. Any questions on the introduction? All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say nay. Motion introduced on first reading, the city budget ordinance carries 6-0 in the affirmative. Council, the budget is going to be 1156, ordinance number 1156, an ordinance by the mayor and city council of Havre Grace by the authority of Article 11E of the Maryland Constitution, the local government article of the annotated code of Maryland, and Section 37 of the Havre Grace City Charter for the purpose of establishing the city budget for fiscal year 2025 by designating the annual projection of anticipated revenues and proposed authorized expenses for the city of Havre Grace for fiscal year 2025. Council, to have a motion to adopt 1156 on first reading.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Robertson and seconded by Council President Ringsacker. Questions or comments?
Just maybe one, and I didn't bring my book with me, but the budget under the marina, is it still, in the marina, does it still have the golden boat pass? Is that still in there, or I mean, because I'm not seeing that this, and I think it's, age citizens can actually pay like a flat fee and keep, and launch unlimited times throughout the year.
This is
Huh? Is in the fee schedule?
a motion to introduce, but I think we removed it from the fee schedule.
Okay,
No, we already introduced.
We already introduced it? I'm
We
sorry.
already introduced. We're under the question now, so
Okay.
it's a fair question.
yeah.
But we don't give out the annual pass.
We can't legally anymore.
Oh, okay.
It's mostly because we receive federal funding for it, and so we can't charge differential rates for users.
So there's like different buckets of money, is the federal, okay, all right, so
No, we are looking into it because other places do it,
yeah,
but we had to remove it because it just wasn't legal. That, as far as we know, we were researching it. I'd like to reestablish something like that, but even Perryville went away and changed their entire schedule on their launch.
yeah, it's not widely used, but there is a handful of golden citizens who actually still use it, so I was just curious, but, Mayor, Council, I appreciate that, and thank you, EJ. George.
Sure. No problem. Thank you, Councilmember Booker. Any other further questions or comments on, we're under the question for first reading for the budget ordinance. Councilmember Robertson?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. fellow council members, you should have received this evening a copy of my proposed budget amendments. It's nothing earth-shattering. It's what we discussed in Budget and Finance Committee, and I believe at both, if not at least one of the budget hearings that we did. I handed those out this evening. George has a copy. He's just going to confirm that my math, based off of his math, is correct, and I plan on introducing that at our next council meeting.
Thank you very much, Councilman Robertson. Any other questions or comments, Council President?
At the next meeting, also I've spoken to most of you about this before, I will be introducing an ordinance for the Parks and Rec use of the Star Center. Instead of the way we have been doing it by amending the fee schedule, we'd rather find money ahead of time instead of removing it from the budget for the Star Center, leaving her empty-handed. But we think we can help Parks and Rec at least partially with their usage of the Star Center. So that will be introduced at the next meeting.
Thank you, Council President. Any other further questions or comments? Okay, Council, I'm going to do a roll call vote on ordinance 1156. This is for first reading. Councilmember Shenanigans.
Yes.
Councilmember Booker.
Yes.
Council President.
Yes.
Councilmember Robertson.
Yes.
Councilmember Jones.
Yes.
Councilmember Boyer.
Yes.
By roll call vote of 6-0 in the affirmative, ordinance 1156 is approved and adopted on first reading. Council President, public hearing next Monday night.
Is that, yeah, I think that's when we have it scheduled.
Yeah, June 10th.
Yep.
Yeah, there will be a public hearing on this ordinance next Monday night, right here at 6 o'clock. It's not a regularly scheduled council meeting, but the charter requires that we pass the budget at the second council meeting in June, which will be the third Monday in June. So what we do is we have a public hearing on an interim Monday night. So next Monday night, if anybody wishes to speak on the budget, good, bad, or indifferent, come here next Monday night at 6 o'clock. Okay, thank you, council. We're going to go to item F, and I'll hand it off to Council President.
Mr. Mayor, citizens, council, I move to introduce ordinance concerning amending Chapter 25, Planning Commission and Board of Appeals for first reading.
Council, I have a motion by the Council President. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Booker. This is a motion to introduce on first reading ordinance concerning amending Chapter 25 of the Planning Commission and Board of Appeals. Any questions or comments on the introduction of this ordinance? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to introduce ordinance carries 6-0 in the affirmative. Council, this will be ordinance 1157. An ordinance by the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace, Maryland, adopted pursuant to the authority of Article 11E of the Maryland Constitution, the local government article of the annotated Code of Maryland, and sections 33 and 34 of the Havre de Grace City Charter, to amend Chapter 25 pertaining to Board of Appeals and Planning Commission. Council, to have a motion to adopt ordinance 1157 on first reading.
So moved.
Second?
Motion by the Council President, seconded by Councilmember Shenanigans. Questions or comments? Council President?
The purpose of this ordinance is just a little bit of a housekeeping to clean up the differences between the Planning Commission and the Board of Appeals. So just they align on the requirements for the citizens. One of the changes is the members shall consist of members of the City of Havre de Grace within the city limits, and it gives the mayor the option of appointing 2 board members outside of the city limits as well.
Thank you very much, Council President. Any other questions or comments? Councilmember Boyer?
That just brings up the question. So what is the value to the committee by having people who are not from the city limits on that board?
So you get the current situation where we're in right now. On the Planning Commission, you have both the chair and one of the alternates that live in the 21078 zip code, but they don't actually live in the town proper. So like you get up towards Maryland Avenue and Martin Avenue, around there, some of them receive some city water, but they still aren't within the area, and they aren't within the city limit proper. They're technically part of the county. But if the mayor has a discretion that people outside of the city that are in the 21078 zip code have added benefits for the council, for the commission, then he has the option to appoint up to 2 members. So for instance, the alternate now, because he was a full member, he moved away and moved back and came back on the commission as an alternate. He's the guy who built the parking lot across the street and the high school. He's a project manager who has extensive knowledge with the county and with the city's planning department. So it's very beneficial having people like him on the commission. The other member is a home inspector and understands the planning department. He's the current chair, and he's doing a fabulous job on the commission as well. So I think if we have people outside that we don't technically have living within the city limits proper, but they're in 21078, and the mayor feels that they're an addition, a helpful addition to the commission, then we'd like him to have the ability to appoint them.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Council President. Thank you, Councilmember Boyer. Any other questions or comments? Council, this will be a roll call vote. On ordinance 1157, first reading, Councilmember Boyer.
Yes.
Councilmember Schnagus.
Yes.
Councilmember Boger.
Yes.
Council President.
Yes.
Councilmember Robertson.
Yes.
Councilmember Jones.
Yes.
By roll call vote of 6-0 in the affirmative, City Council Ordinance 1157 is adopted on first reading, and actually I have down here public hearing.
That was my error. It'll be
Okay.
on the 17th, not the
17th,
10th.
that's what I thought, yeah. I scratched it on the 10th, but yeah, it's not an emergency. Okay, public hearing on ordinance 1157 will be at the next council meeting on the 17th of June at 7 o'clock. Thank you very much, council. And sorry, council, it's all legislation we have this evening. So we'll just go to item number 14, old business. There is no old business tonight, but we do have some new business, and that brings up a special event. And Dr. Ritchie.
Thank you, Mayor. Council, for your consideration this evening, we have one special event. It is the Pyrex and Vintage Fest to be held September 28th of this year. It will run from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Pennington Avenue between Lodge, North Washington, and St. John Streets.
Okie dokie. Council, do I have a motion to approve the Pyrex and Vintage Fest for September 28th?
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Robertson, seconded by Councilmember Schnagus. Questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Pyrex and Vintage Fest for September 28th, 2024 is approved, 6-0 in the affirmative. Item 16, Director's Report, and we're going to go right back to the Director of Administration, Dr. Chris Ritchie.
Good evening, Mayor Martin, Council President, Ring Soccer, and council members and citizens at home and still in the audience. So I would like, there was a little bit of chatter earlier today, but I would like to just recognize some of EJ's team members. So last week, there was a really big water main break on Juniata and Revolution, and I just have to congratulate your team on how well they responded to that. They were very quick. They were very professional. They looked sharp out there. They did it safely and quickly, and I really appreciate that, and I know the citizens do. So thank you, EJ.
I second that. Yeah, I was out there too. I saw those guys. They did a great job.
So the city has acquired 2 ADA trolleys that are wheelchair accessible, and they are joining our trolley fleet. We are currently in the process of getting the tied decals on them and obtaining the license plates. We've received the approval from the state police, so we just need those 2 last things. And you'll see now 2 ADA trolleys going around the city shortly. A friendly reminder that First Fridays is this week, and as of now, the weather looks really good. And then also Friday is Concerts in the Park, featuring RMB Trio. It's a jazz and instrumental pop group. The concert starts at 7:30 at Tidings Park, and it is completely free. And lastly, you've heard many times from the council members up here that Havre de Grace is a city built on volunteerism, and we have plenty of volunteer opportunities, such as volunteering at one of the city's great events like the Independence Day festivities, volunteering in support of shows at the Star Center or the Opera House, or volunteering even to serve on a commission like we saw earlier today with some people getting sworn in to do that. So if you are interested in volunteering in the city, please feel free to reach out to myself directly. I'll be able to put you in contact with the appropriate person. And my email is chrisr@havredegracemd.com, or you can just simply call City Hall and ask to speak with Chris. Interestingly enough, I'm the only Chris in the building. Yeah. When I was in high school, everybody was named Chris, but nobody here.
Dr. Kringle.
So that concludes my comments for the evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Yeah, I guess you're right. Never thought about that. You're already the only Chris in the building. Okay, all right. Very good. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. And we're going to go to the Director of Planning. Good evening, Mr. Tim Borsier.
Good evening, everybody. I will be short. I have May's permit numbers. We had a little bit more activity than was expected originally. We had 13 permits for new construction and 23 for renovations and additions. We had a little bit of flood of applications at the end of the month trying to beat the clock on the new building code requirements that we just passed. So there was a little bit more activity than what we expected, but we were still busy, and we're expecting, while properties are getting prepared for new construction development, we stay busy, but we're expecting another uptick of houses starting in the fall. And the last thing I have, we are really close to issuing our first permit using our online software that we purchased some time back. So we're just waiting for them to update one of the fees, and we will issue our first short-term rental license using our online system. And then we'll be able to reach out to the rest of the community on that. A lot of the things that needed to be put in place to fix that short-term rental license actually work for the entire software, and were bugs that would have to be ironed out for everything else. So we are about ready to modernize what we do and hopefully provide a lot easier way for people in our community to apply for permits and get their building permits and move forward on things. So that's it for me, unless I have any questions.
Any questions for Tim? Tim, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Now we're going to go over to our Director of Economic Development and Tourism, Ms. Bridget Johnson. Good evening, Ms. Johnson.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, citizens in the audience, and citizens at home. A brief update tonight. The Economic Development Advisory Board will not meet during the month of June and July. Meetings will resume on Wednesday, August 21st, 4:00 p.m. here in Council Chambers. Additionally, we are on track to submit 2 grants due June 21st to the Department of Housing and Community Development. One is a demolition grant. It is to install signature sidewalks along St. John Street between Commerce and Green Streets and in front of Harmerstown from the corner of Bourbon Street to where the signature sidewalk currently ends, which is just a few feet from the opening into Harmerstown. We are also submitting a community legacy grant. This is for new light poles and LED lamps for Pennington and St. John Streets to match the light fixtures we have installed along North Washington Street. This is to bring in additional funding to complement the downtown restoration project. So anything that we can do to help with the second phase, which is the outdoor furniture, we are working closely with Patrick Seipold and seeing what needs or where he may be falling short, and we are writing grants for the purpose of assisting the project. Mid-July, the Visitor Center renovations, I've spoke about them a couple of times here, will be completed. That project was funded by MHAA, and we are on track. We are on schedule with that project. Also, in mid-July, the pickleball courts at the community center, that project will begin. It should begin as soon as the Visitor Center renovations are completed. That project was grant funded through the Department of Natural Resources, program Open Space Community Parks and Playgrounds in the amount of $150,000. That grant was submitted by Patrick Seipold last year, and we're going to be using the funding for the new pickleball courts. Jumping over to tourism, very excited. I think everyone here in the city of Havre de Grace, Maryland, and hopefully internationally global, because we are now a global phenomenon. Our tourism manager, Lori Orszewicz, was on Let's Make a Deal. We've been holding this information in for a long time, as best as we could. Lori visited California last October with her husband. I'm not sure how she ended up on this show, but she did. And she's been so excited, and we haven't been able to say anything pretty much surrounding everything that happened out there. But anyway, it was aired last Friday. It is on television, it's all over social media. We have been promoting it. It's also on a Facebook page called Maryland is a Cult, Not a State. We love that page. Lori is there. I'm very excited for her. I'm excited for the city of Havre de Grace. I'm very proud of her. I just think we have the best person in that crab outfit to talk about the city. We now have another city song, I guess we call it, that Wayne Brady made up. So anyone, if you've seen Let's Make a Deal, or if you haven't seen Let's Make a Deal, explore Havre de Grace or probably any of our Facebook pages, including Lori Orszewicz, and you will see her. I don't know, I lost count at how many times the city of Havre de Grace was mentioned. So it's just very exciting. So we were already on the map. We are on the map 3 times over. Following up on her Oscar-worthy performance, I wrote that line myself. She and Pam Sickerberger is our Main Street coordinator, were interviewed this morning on Good Morning PA. We've also had this plan for a couple of months as well. So Lori and Pam drove to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania this morning. They left at 6:30 a.m. The interview is 4 minutes and 23 seconds. We sent out an email this afternoon. It's also on social media. We were invited to participate on this interview commercial, and it's part of Good Morning PA's road trip week. So the idea is, Harrisburg is not that far, to plan day trips to surrounding areas where people can get to within an hour or 2 hours. So the interview is well done. Pam and Lori both were interviewed at the same time. They hit every topic. Restaurants, retail, marinas, museums, sports tourism, walking trails. So you can see that interview on abc27.com. You can see it on Explore Havre de Grace, and you will be seeing it a lot in the future. So they have been very busy. And so this is Tourism Day. Last week, Lori and Diane Clare in the planning department traveled to Hampton, Virginia, because we were invited as guests of the National Park Service Chesapeake Gateway Services Program. So along with the city of Havre de Grace, the town of Perryville, Port Deposit, the LSHG, we're all there to represent the area that we live in. So the 35 community members present at this conference. The Chesapeake Bay watershed comprises of 6 states in Washington, D.C., with a population of 18 million people. So basically, we're going to be part of a study area to look at water taxis, which we've looked at before in the city of Havre de Grace, and anything that we can do to partner with our neighboring towns. So that will be a continuing project for the remainder of this year. Pam, I think I mentioned Pam, our Main Street coordinator, recently returned from the National Main Street Conference in Montgomery, Alabama. So we will be participating. As you know, we are a Maryland Main Street. This year's theme is Made in America. So we will, as much as we can, participate in that campaign, which is also through the Department of Housing and Community Development. And I think that's all did I mention I'm very proud of the tourism department? I am very proud of the tourism office. They really kicked it this week. So I just want to say congratulations to them again, because it's a win for them, but it's a win for the city of Havre de Grace, and that's why we are here. Thank you. If there aren't any questions.
Any questions for Ms. Johnson?
Thank you.
Councilmember Jones?
Are we gonna get Wayne Brady to come to Havre Grace? I mean, I hope she was courting him when she was there, because that would be awesome.
It would be, and we're going to work on that as long as he can take care of his expenses. But we're going to work.
Maybe Bambi's listening in on that one.
Ooh.
Gotcha.
Yeah, whose line is it anyway? On stage at the Star
And
Center?
he can
Bring back
dance,
the old
right?
crew? Yeah.
Everything.
Thank you very much, Ms. Johnson. We're going to go now with our Director of Finance, Mr. Georgia Horty.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council, citizens, both here and at home. First of all, I want to thank you for the completion of the tax and water sewer rate ordinances, and being able to move that forward. We can now report to the state where we are. And also for your first reading approval of 1156 and the budget. I know there's a couple of potential amendments that you all have mentioned, and we'll be happy to work with you through that process. Pardon me. Now for the current state of affairs. The general fund, we collected just over $435,000 in revenue, mostly income taxes since my last report, and we spent about $625,000, so we've declined about $190, but we're sitting at $2.37 million, so we're still where we thought we would be, very close. The water and sewer fund basically had no revenues, and we spent about $580,000 since my last report. So it's declined, but we're still sitting at $3.5 million in that fund. And again, that's pretty much where we thought that we would be at that time. The marina fund, we collected about $8,000 in petrol sales, and we've spent $27,400 also in petrol buying. So we've declined about $19,000, but it's at just under a healthy $800,000 where we sit today. So all three major funds are doing well, and we should finish the year in good, strong fashion. It's the current. You're not a believer in jinxes. That's the way we're headed. And with that, I will open the floor to any questions or concerns.
Thank you very much, George. Any questions for Mr. DeHorty? None? George, thank you very much. Appreciate the update, sir. Thank you. And we're going to go to Mr. E.J. Malizer, our Director of Public Works. Good evening.
Mayor, good evening. Mayor, Council President, Council members, citizens, I'd like to start off by thanking Chief of Construction Joe Conaway for covering down for me last week. Next, I just want to get on to 4 quick notes of interest. Several things to report relative to citizens that we have upcoming. The first, we have a lead and copper report. That's a mandate by EPA, and that just goes over all the pipes underground. We have to reduce the amount of known unknowns or unknown knowns. So that's a report that we will submit on an annual basis and reduce each unknown every year. So that's good news. That's due in October. The next, we have an annual MS4 report, and that is a tongue twister: municipal separate storm water sewer systems. It's 4 S's. So I wanted to slow down when I said that. And that's due in October. And third is our CCR, that's Consumer Confidence Report, and that's the quality of water, and that's due this July. Well, we'll go out in July, probably reach the residents in August. Second, on to operations. We are working with Amtrak to, as I mentioned earlier, to go over some upcoming engineering. If you saw them earlier today, they're talking about detours, and they're investigating different options around the city. So I think that'll be a benefit to us to look at. And I'll keep everyone posted on the findings. Third, we are going to stencil for some marina folks in the audience. We're going to stencil some no fishing along the piers. People, I guess, been casting out between the boats. So we're trying to discourage that. And we're going to put up some signs as well just to discourage fishing in between the boats down there. So fourth, I'd like to thank Jim Reynolds helping us knock out some of our interviews and welcome on board a few new employees, Trey Graves and Chris Borneman. There is another Chris, works for the city. So that's good. And then congrats to Alan Keith and Tony Cochran, employees of the quarter. A lot of good stuff. And last but not least, Mr. Dave Watson, congrats to him on being promoted assistant superintendent at the wastewater treatment plant. So it was well-deserved, job well done to Dave and the crew down there. That's all I have.
Thank you, EJ. Anybody have any questions for Mr. Melizer? Okay, thank you very much.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Good evening, Chief.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. And for Ms. Johnson, what did Lori win on Let's Make a Deal? I'm just wondering. No, that's okay. Mayor and Council, I just want to let everybody know that all of our officers have received their certifications this year to remain as police officers through the Maryland Police Training and Standards Commission, which is good. And we are currently on the recertification for this upcoming year, so it's always a continual thing. But everybody is certified as of today. The other thing, if you haven't had a chance to see, the mobile surveillance vehicle is in our parking lot, and we're going to go ahead and deploy that for this Friday's First Friday. And we're really excited about that, because that actually gives us some extra eyes and ears and lighting and that type of thing. So again, we are really, really excited about that. And then I also want to congratulate the high school graduates. I had the opportunity to attend their awards ceremony the day before, and it's amazing. All of the scholarships and the things that they have accomplished is absolutely amazing. And it's one of the larger classes that they've had for several years. So I want to extend congratulations to them. And finally, I know we were all out at Memorial Day ceremonies on Monday. It was rather miserable. But you know what? I was still amazed at the number of people that were there and stayed there no matter the rain or whatever. It was wonderful. So it was nice to see everybody. That would be it, Mayor.
Thank you, Chief. Anybody have questions for Chief Walker? Great, thank you so much. Thank you, directors. We're going to roll into item 17, comments from the mayor's office. And yeah, Chief, you're right. Memorial Day event last Monday was well done. I want to thank, again, the American Legion for always doing a great job getting everything ready for the event. I want to thank the VFW for the placement of American flags in certain areas around the city. And yeah, it rained on everybody, but not anybody moved away. I mean, so it was pretty wild. I tell everybody all the time, you can't say you're willing to die for your freedoms if you're not willing to get wet for them. So it was a nice day for Memorial Day ceremony. Also, yeah, you know what? I went to the graduation at APG Arena for the Havre High School, and it's the biggest class I've ever seen. It's over 200, probably close to 220, which the old days used to be like 110, 120 kids. So they're all looking good. All our seniors, they graduated. They're doing a good job. This morning, I had the honor of attending the 8th grade President's Award Ceremony as a guest speaker, and wished all the new incoming 9th graders luck next year. So our Warriors are wonderful, I tell you. And you're right. The scholarships they get, the academic awards that these seniors get every year, it's great. So that says a lot about our teachers at Havre de Grace High School, Middle School, but it really says a lot about our community and the families we have in our community, and commitment that we give our young kids to make sure that they, do their best in school. So very proud of our Warrior community, for sure. First Fridays is this Friday. The weather is looking good, as Dr. Ritchie commented earlier, so let's hope that goes off well. And to piggyback on what Ms. Johnson said, our own Lori Orzowitz was on Let's Make a Deal, and that was really cool. We recorded that, and I tell you, somebody should nominate Lori Orzowitz for Employee of the Quarter. So I'm saying that there. I don't know. I mean, other duties as assigned, right? No, but as it was said earlier, she could not have done, Ms. Orzowitz could not have done a better job promoting our city on her own time, on her own game show. Let's Make a Deal. And so she did a great job. It was textbook executed there. So good job, Ms. Orzowitz. You make us all proud. And finally, hey, I always like to talk at the end of the month how our trolley's doing, our trolley program. So 4 trolleys ran for 13 days in May with 3,000 riders, 1,800 miles, and 0 incidents. Knock on wood. So we have good, dedicated ambassadors, and it's a really nice thing to see so many fun people having fun on our trolleys. And with that said, I will Just one more reminder that the budget ordinance is next Monday night here at 6 o'clock, not at the next council meeting. So if you're at home and you wanted to say something on the budget, it's next Monday night, the 10th of June, 6 o'clock here. With that, we will move on to comments from the council, and we'll start with Councilmember Jones.
Thank you so much, Mayor. It's great to see some citizens here. Thank you for being here this evening, and thanks for everyone who's joining at home. I just want to share a few things. One is for residents who weren't aware, Mrs. Mabel Hart passed away on May 31st at age 105. We did do a recognition for her here. She had a birthday in March, so very sad to see, very sad to hear, but 105, wow. If we could all, live to 105. Her memorial service is tomorrow at Mount Zion Baptist Church at noon. Also last week were the funeral services for Don Bruce, who is the husband of Carol Bruce. Carol's family has a long legacy in Harford County. Her parents owned what used to be the Chat and Chew and is now the Vineyard Wine Bar. So I wanted to mention her because her family has deep roots here in Havre de Grace. Congratulations to all of the Havre de Grace High School graduates. That's pretty exciting to see. I was also able to go with Councilmember Boyer. I think we mentioned last time to see the Oracle graduates, so it's been great to see the great work that they've been doing in Havre de Grace. I also was able to serve on 2 scholarship committees. One was for the Maryland Municipal League, and the other was for Senator James. And what I've noticed attending all of the different graduations and being on these review committees is what a great caliber of students that we have in Harford County. And they are really getting some scholarship money. But there is still a lot of scholarship money on the table. So anyone listening, please make sure that you ask questions, that you're really looking, because there are a lot of scholarships where it's hard to find someone or they go unclaimed. So make sure that you get that money because college is becoming really, really expensive. Just a few things coming up. One is summer concerts in the park have started every Friday at 7:30. That should be a great time, so make sure that you are listening and going out to those events. Also, just some things around the county. On June 15th, the Harford County NAACP is hosting its 2nd annual 5K run. That will be in Bel Air at the Annie's Playground. The Hosanna School is hosting, the Hosanna School Museum is hosting its annual Juneteenth event on the 15th in the afternoon, and on June 19th, Bully Rock is hosting a Juneteenth event at its residence club. And that's all I have this evening, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Jones, and thank you for bringing up Miss Mabel Hart. I'm glad you did that. Thank you. Whose birthday was March 27th. I remember that because I wrote a letter to her every year. March 27th, so thank you very much. We're going to go now with Councilmember Boyer.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you to everybody who is hanging in there with us for this evening. I want to extend my congratulations as well to the class of 2024, not just for the high school, but also our college graduates who are coming home and hopefully finding great jobs within our community, and reminding you that it's a great opportunity for you never to forget that you enter to learn and you leave to serve, and we need you to volunteer, and we have lots of opportunities for you to get involved in your community. I want to extend a congratulations to Major General Robert Evanson, who is the Commanding General of Aberdeen Proving Ground. He will be retiring this Friday, the 7th of June, and he's going to be moving to Florida. He's not sticking around, but it should be a good time. We will have the incoming general at the end of the month, and he'll have his assumption of command at the end of the month. This month is also Pride Month, and Upper Chesapeake Pride is going to be having a bingo at Market Street on Thursday, the 6th, at 6:30. It's a great opportunity to come out and have some beverages while you're playing bingo. And on the 8th of June, there's another great event that's tied to APG. It's the Magic of Science. It will be held at the Toon Building at HCC. It starts at 11 o'clock. It is an amazing hands-on science experience for all students. There's a lot of people that'll be going there, but there are so many people within our community that come out. And this is also tied very closely to the Discovery Center that's trying to be established on Route 40, which again will be a science-oriented opportunity for students to explore all the cool things that happen in the world of science and what we're trying to do at Aberdeen Proving Ground. And finally, I want to let you all know that the Green Team held our annual meeting on the 28th of May. It was an extremely well-attended meeting at the police station, a great venue to have meetings. We had about 35 people attending, which was amazing. Some numbers just to keep in mind. For the composting program, to date, we have composted 19,240 pounds. This is well on, and that was an end of April number, which is right on track for our overall goal for the year, which would be 48,000 pounds, which is on average 2 tons per month. In total, the composting program has diverted from the landfill 173,029 pounds of compost and has turned that into usable nutrient for the soil. They are doing great with the Bee City and pollinator gardens. The Bird City is going strong as well. They've had several bird walks, and voting is still ongoing for who is going to be or what is going to be our city bird for the Green Team. The Victory Garden reported that last year they had 8,654 pounds of fresh food donated to food pantries raised within the Victory Garden. And there was also a discussion to encourage people to use rain barrels to save our water bills. So if you're interested in another volunteer opportunity within Havre de Grace, the Green Team has lots of great projects and is always looking for people to get involved. And you can get involved by just doing the smallest little thing. That's it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Boyer. And good evening, Councilmember Shenakis.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Administration, citizens in the audience, and citizens at home. I would like to invite you all this Friday to First Fridays and to make your way down to Harmerstown. They will be having a special event from 5 to 9 p.m., including artists and musicians, and just the spectacular opportunity to explore the murals that have already been painted depicting Havre de Grace's history, and as well as new murals that are underway. So come on down. Also, next week, the Marina Commission will be meeting Wednesday, June 12th at 4:30 p.m. in the City Conference Room. I hope to see you all there. And that's all for this evening. Back to you, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Shenakis. And good evening, Councilmember Robertson.
Good evening, Mayor, fellow council members, city staff, ladies and gentlemen still here and at home. We thank you for being here with us tonight. Just a couple quick things. Number one is thank you, EJ, for your staff, for their support, specifically Joe Conway and Roger for the Memorial Day ceremonies at the park. I'm remiss I couldn't be there that day, but your guys, called me all weekend to make sure everything was set and good to go. They mowed, ahead of everything, so I really appreciate them taking that time and effort. And of course, the infamous Jeff Thompson here at the city and Jay Dupree that, just volunteers his time to do the sound and all. So really appreciate that. Appreciate all of you being there. Mr. Mayor, appreciate you speaking as always. So thank you for that. Just one quick reminder that the annual youth festival, the Refuel for School, is August 17th at 3 p.m. We're still, collecting sponsorships and volunteers. It's a fun day. It's a back to school giveaway. We were able to give over 300 backpacks away last year, and we're looking for more this year. So, kids come, have a good time. We got some bouncy set up, some food, and all that good stuff, some entertainment. So bring the family out. It's at Concord Park, August 17th, 3 p.m. Any community organizations that want to set up tables and, talk about what they have going on, that's a great thing. We appreciate that. And again, any sponsorships, anybody looking to sponsor, be a partner, we appreciate that as well. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Robertson. Good evening, Councilmember Booker.
Hey, good evening, Mayor Martin, Council President, those of you who are still at home. One of the greatest things I enjoy being a council member is moving around, talking to citizens, finding out what their heart's desire is, what their aspirations are, what they like to see change within the city if they had limited assets, what they like to see different, and also what they like to see unchanged. Part of that is attending the Memorial Day services, right? And running into folks there as well, members of the Cat Club, and also getting rained on as well. I want to give a special shout out to the VFW and the American Legion of Chorus, our own Jeff Thompson. I've heard that name mentioned earlier, and also to Mr. Bobby Keene, who actually not only does he sing at Angel Hill at 09 up on that solemn hill there, and it just echoes across the gravestones. He also sings right there at Tidings as well. And it's very moving. It's very touching, especially as an Army veteran. It gives me a chance to actually talk to the youth of America too, and the young graduates, trying to convince them to join the Army and not the Navy. I'm sorry, EJ, but you're surrounded by Army vets up here. Raise your hand if you're a vet. Yeah, see, there you go, right? A couple of them still serving. But anyway, that's great. And kudos to everybody who came out there and got soaking wet. I actually got the honor of delivering a wreath, walking down with Mayor Martin and putting a wreath there, and we're incredibly wet. Chief, you mentioned that, but you had a cool hat on that kind of helped you out. I didn't have a hat. I had that little beanie thing, and it doesn't do much good. Councilmember Jones, I appreciate you mentioning Miss Mabel. Wow. I mean, what can you say, right? We can only, try to achieve not only that age, but to be in the condition in which that she was. Just simply amazing. As mentioned earlier, the Green Team, a lot of huge home runs there. I was able to attend on Saturday morning, which I normally dedicate to the Cat Club. Then I ran down to the ribbon cutting for the Green Team, the Pollinator Park. And that was pretty much master of ceremonies there was, and I'll say her name, Miss Carol Zimmerman, who is just a boon for that Green Team. I tell you, the entire Green Team is an immovable force, but Carol kind of brings it all together. And the last thing I'll do is I want to thank our first responders, our EMT, our ambulance corps, and our police department, and our Susquehanna Hose Company for keeping us safe at night as we sleep. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Booker. And we're going to go to comments from the council president.
Mr. Mayor, Council, citizens at home, I too went to the Memorial Day service. It was a great service, but I rode my motorcycle. And I thought the rain was going to hold off, but it didn't. I want to give congratulations to Austin Gray, who just received his Eagle Award yesterday. And then this coming Saturday, right across the street, St. Patrick's, another boy from a troop, Christopher Snyder, will be doing his Eagle Project. So be sure to keep an eye out. With that, Mr. Mayor, I have no other comments, but I do have a closing statement here. Under the Open Meetings Act, General Provision Article 3-305, I move to go into closed session upon adjournment of the open session on Monday, June 3rd, 2024, to consider the following matters. 1, to discuss a personnel matter. 2, to consult with counsel to obtain legal advice. 3, to consult with city staff and city attorney about pending or potential litigation. This meeting will be closed under General Provision Article Section 3-305, subsection B. Number 1, to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluation of appointees, employees, or officials over whom this public body has jurisdiction. Any other personnel matter that affects one or more specific individuals. Number 7, to consult with counsel to obtain legal advice. And 8, to consult with staff, consultants, or other individuals about pending or potential litigation. The reason for closing this meeting is discussions concerning personnel matters are entitled to confidentiality. Consultations with the city attorney regarding advice and pending or potential litigation are entitled to confidentiality under the attorney-client privilege. The City Council will not resume open session after the closed session, and votes, if any, will be recorded in public at the council meeting on June 17th, 2024. And, sir, that is my motion.
Council, I have a motion by the council president to move into closed session at the conclusion of this meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Booker. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion for this council to move into closed session at the conclusion of this meeting carries 6-0 in the affirmative. Thank you, Council President. And we're going to go to item 20, which is adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Councilmember Jones made a motion. Councilmember Robertson seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to adjourn and close the June 3rd, 2024 meeting carries 6-0 in the affirmative. The time is 8:41. Thank you very much, everybody, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.